Hello, welcome everyone here watching. I have the pleasure today of interviewing Ambar Sur. Ambar is a person that I have met quite a few years ago. I had the pleasure of going to Istanbul in an event that TerraPay was sponsoring. And that was my first visit to Istanbul, where I fell in love with the city. And we have done events in Istanbul, and we hope to go back in the future and do more events. It's a beautiful place. So thank you, Ambar, for taking the time of giving me this interview. It's a pleasure. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background and everything that was happened prior to you starting Terapay.
Thank you, Hugo, for having me here. It's an honor to meet you again. Yes, so we had a very good event at Istanbul, and happy to be here so many years later. To give you a little background of TerraPay and myself, my background is totally mobile communications. I started my career as an RF engineer, designing cell sites, deciding where to put cell sites. So my first year at job, I was climbing buildings, looking for good locations to put the cell site antennas, right? So given my background in mobile communications, I did some internet work after that. And I've been in the mobile internet field ever since then. So I started a company doing mobile value-added solutions in 2000, which then we merged with another company and built a lot of products over there. One of which was a mobile wallet solution, which was very successful, including mobile top-ups and everything. So when we sold that company, the question was, of course, what next? And one of the things was, can I use my existing expertise in mobile communications to take it to the financial world? And so, we already had a base of this mobile wallets that were installed. And we said, okay, why not interconnect these wallets? So that's how we started. There's two things I learned in the mobile industry. One is interoperability and one is small value, right? The reason mobile communications works across the world is because of interoperability. We don't doubt it, but we pick up a phone and land up in a new city and expect it works. Same number. And for those of us who remember text messaging, text messages also get there. And we wanted to do the same with money. Can I make money interoperable? And that's where we started TerraPay. Just like a text message, I want to send money to you. It doesn't matter whether you're in India or Hong Kong or Mexico. And whether your phone's on, off, whatever. Once you turn your phone on, the text message gets there. Similarly, once you turn your phone back on, the money gets there. That's what we wanted to do. And interestingly, I initially looked at this as a mobile technology issue. And that's when I met up with my old friends who had, after mobile technologies, gone into the financial technologies world. And they came back and said, Ambar, you're looking at this wrong. This is not mobile technology. This is financial technology, right? So that's when we pivoted the company, so to say, and looked at it as a financial services company, started getting financial licenses, and built out the entire TerraPay network, where we connect, today we connect about 4 billion bank accounts and 50 million wallets, right? So that's how we started. And again, if you look at the power of mobile technology, one is, like I said, interoperability. It works. Roaming is an interoperable product, right? We assume it's part of the service, right? Similarly, text messaging is an interoperable product. Also, the power of the mobile operator is the largest infrastructure provider in the emerging markets. And it has changed lives by these small value transactions, right? One call which costs 5 cents, 10 cents, gives employment to people, gives weather reports, all of that. That has changed lives. We can do the same with the mobile operator. And as we look at our business, in the mobile industry, we saw at one point in time, the main product was voice. text messaging was a value-added service, roaming was a value-added service, data was a value-added service. Today, data is the product. Everything else is bundled in. And so is the same with mobile financial services, right? We are building out pipes, we're building out the infrastructure to provide these services. Today we do remittances, we do payments, all of it. At the end of it, we don't know what the core product and what the value-added service would be, but the pipes would remain there, which is what the mobile operators have built out in the telecom industry, and which is what we're looking at building out ourselves.
That's so interesting, Ambar. And yes, it's a story that needs to be told. I mean, we go a long way, and I do remember having, a mobile phone in one country and not being able to have it in another country, and maybe just feeling like, I can't connect. Then we went into having several phones. Because there was no way we could use. I remember that time too, having that, or having to shift the little cards here and there. So I know what you mean, and I do understand the value of mobile communications getting into this industry. I've been for a long time in the remittance industry, so I've seen it firsthand, the transformation that people like you with another mentality brought to this, and I've been aware of the regulatory confrontations in Africa between banks and mobile. I've been very critical of Latin America and the regulators not opening the financial services to mobile companies. So I'm very pleased to hear your story. And now we are, years from that, you built TerraPay. You're based in Dubai, and tell us right now, what are the services and products that TerraPay offers the industry? Because I see that you're basically the rails, the B2B side of things. Tell me a little bit more about it, please.
Yeah. So we provide payment infrastructure to financial services companies, right? So we're building out the rails for small value instant payments. You can do whatever you want on my rails as long as it's small value and instant. We provide services for P2P customers, and for businesses, SMEs and businesses as well. We're a B2B player. We have lots of interesting partners who many of you are very familiar with. The challenge all of them faced was in the migration from the cash to digital. And that's where they come to us. Even if you look at the largest players, they're still struggling with going digital, right? 80% of their business continues to be cash amongst the older players. And that's where they come to us. So most of the large top 10 players are with us, and they send money through our pipes into emerging markets in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Partners originate money in the Middle East, North America, Europe, UK, sending to these markets, and within Asia as well. So that's what we're doing. And because we're small value instant payments, my average ticket size is about $152, tends to be more blue collar people using my rails. And when you're sending $150 home, that money is used for food, that money is used for education, hospital bills, medicine, shoes, school bills, the like. And the nature of the transaction is such that it has to get there today. If the money doesn't get there today, someone will not get medicine today, or someone will not eat today. That's pretty much what it is. And that's why we look at this category where it's small value instant payments, right? We look at this business in three ways. Like I said, it's interoperability. That's what I learned from the mobile industry. There's three types of it I look at: international, regional, and domestic. international exists is something we know. People have been sending money from the US to Mexico, from Dubai to India for the last 30 years, right? We just digital enabled it, right? We made it very convenient for you to sit at home and receive your money. In some cases, you can send it from your app, or in cash-based economies like Dubai, they have to go to the store. But on the receive side, people are no more going to pick up the cash or encashing it all in once. It comes into your bank account, it comes into your convenient mobile wallet. That's what we're doing on the international side. Regional side is actually more interesting to me, because I think that's where we have failed as the world to set up the pipes. I'm talking smaller corridors, right? South Africa to Mozambique, India to Bangladesh, India to Nepal, Malaysia to Indonesia, to Vietnam. We tend to only look at the north-south corridors and have traditionally ignored the other corridors, even within LATAM, from Argentina to Brazil or Guatemala to Honduras. Those corridors are underserved. And while the cash value of the north-south corridors may be higher, the economic value of the south-south corridors is greater. So what I mean is, when somebody sends money from South Africa to Mozambique, they send $40, right? When they send from India to Nepal or Bangladesh, it could be a little bit more, right? And these underserved corridors actually need infrastructure. And the interesting thing is, because of the way we are building out the infrastructure and today's internet services and cloud-based services, it's the same. Whether I plonk a pipe between the UK to Kenya or from South Africa to Mozambique, the pipes are, the technology is the same, the partners are different, we're just building it out better. Then there is, of course, the domestic payments. Again, like I said, once you lay the pipes, whether I send money from UK to Kenya or from Kenya to Kenya, it's the same. So we're building those out as well, where we're building interoperability within the countries. There are several interesting projects we've launched. For example, one we've launched in Congo, where along with the government and the UNCDF, we're rolling out Congo Pay. It's an interoperable mobile wallet product. In Southern Africa, we are working with the SADC to launch a 15-country interoperable product where you could, send money from Tanzania to South Africa, mobile to mobile, or small values across. So those are some of the projects we're working on. But like I said, international exists. We're making it more efficient, but the fun lies in regional and domestic, and that's what we're focusing on today.
That's very, very interesting. Yes, and I can see the picture, and you painted really, really well. I am going to teach a course on fintech and remittances, and I touch upon some of that. So you gave me here some good information to add on to some of the teaching that I do, just so young people that get into this industry get a head start, in what we are. And talking about that, give me a broad idea of what is the state of the industry. Yes, we've gone through a very hard times with COVID as a society. Yes, I think we have had a digital uptake that we have all seen, digital players like traditional players. But what is your overall view of the health and the future short-term and medium-term of this industry?
Yeah, so Hugo, with in March 2020, when COVID hit, or when we seriously noticed it, people spelled gloom and doom for the industry, right? I mean, there were World Bank reports going around saying, well, remittances will go down. I remember I was in Dubai at that time. Shops were shut. people could not send money, they lost their jobs. And again, when I look at small value instant payments, like I said, it's mainly blue collar workers. They're the ones most affected first, right? So if an airlines like Emirates shuts down, the first ones to go are the cleaners and the suppliers and the subcontractors. So we saw a lot of gloom in the industry. But surprisingly, what happened is it picked up on the digital side, right? So the overall pie probably shrunk, but a lot of it moved digital, which is how it should be in today's world. That's the moving digital is the only thing that would improve financial inclusion, right? It is one of the ingredients of financial inclusion. So we saw a lot of shift. We actually increased revenues 2x during that year, right? One was, of course, the effects of COVID, but other business lines as well. And now that this shift has happened, we need to capitalize on that and force this shift across multiple corridors. Digital is, of course, more efficient, cheaper, and also probably more secure, right? And again, when you're looking at small value instant payments, that's what you need, right? When if you are sending $5,000, if it comes across 3 days later, it may be okay. But when you're sending $100, that's your livelihood, that's your month's earning, right? So that's what we're looking at. I think, I'm sure what we've done is accelerate the digital adoption, right? Which means several things. Not only is money going to move digital, but things like KYC will move digital. Things like more acceptance points. All of that will change, and that will only make things better. So now we will see, more women registering for financial services, right? More people ensuring that they update their KYC documents on their mobile subscriptions or going ahead and getting bank accounts. All of this will happen, right? And that will only make the industry more clean.
Thank you very much. That's a good insight, and yes, I see that happening. Of course, financial inclusion has a lot to do. Also, creating the digital ecosystems. So both in the sending side and mostly in the receiving side, you have an ecosystem where the funds can be transferred digitally too. I had a great experience when we did IMTC Africa in Kenya by seeing firsthand, the transformation that M-Pesa had brought and mobile money had brought to that country and to Africa. We need to see that happening in other countries and other corridors, but one thing pushes the other. It's like one feeds each other, as you said. So thank you very much. Thank you for participating in IMTC, supporting IMTC, and I hope to maybe see you in person one of these days, now that COVID is allowing us to be in person again.
Thank you, Hugo. Thanks for having us here, and good to see you again. I'm sure we'll meet sometime soon.